I'm Nina McLaughlin, and this is News You Can Trust. Employment in the private sector surged by 298,000 jobs for the month of February. 66,000 of these jobs were construction jobs, and another 32,000 were manufacturing jobs. This is fantastic to see, since growing jobs has been a focal point for our President Trump, and all of this is happening on the heels of stocks surging once again and consumer confidence growing. Maine has reached a new all-time high in the number of private sector payroll jobs within our state. New information coming from the Maine Department of Labor as well as the U.S. Department of Labor is showing that Maine has not only recovered from the recession, but actually increased the number of jobs that are available. Maine is on the move under Governor LePage. We have yet another update on walking ethics violation, representative tipping. This past Thursday, the Maine House Republicans issued a press release on how they've uncovered yet another way in which representative tipping is violating the ethics law. The press release says that representative tipping is in clear violation of the Maine ethics law. As the law clearly states, representative tipping is presumed to have a conflict of interest on every question and must be precluded or subject to penalty. Maine ethics laws require that legislators file a legislative statement of sources of income each year. Representative Tipping's 2016 income report did not file his change of income paperwork, which was required by law, in the 30-day allotted time frame. So basically, Representative Tipping failed to file that he took $9,000 of income from a special interest group. He's a third-term legislator. You really should know better by now, Representative Tipping. So once again, we're asking that if you'd really like to see Representative Tipping and this corrupt caucus held accountable, please call Speaker Gideon's office, call it 5 times if you have to, and tell them that they need to take action on this blatant violation of Maine legislative ethics law and hold Representative Tipping accountable. This needs to be done. At this point, everything just keeps adding up. Let's do something. Call Sarah Gideon's office at 207-287-1300. Also, this past Thursday morning, Representative Tipping crawled out from underneath his safe space just long enough to go on the George Hale and Rick Tyler show to defend himself. He was very defensive, and he gave weak answers in response to a lot of the questions that they were asking him. The subject of our recent Freedom of Access request came up, and as we told you last week, Representative Tipping and Speaker Gideon may or may not give us some or all of the documents that we requested in our Freedom of Access, and his defense for withholding information from the Maine Republican Party was that he needed to make sure that there's, quote, no personal information like social security numbers in the emails. Representative Tipping, you're a third-term legislator, and at this point, you really should know that emails can be hacked. You probably shouldn't be putting personal information like people's social security numbers in them. This week, Senator Roger Cates from Augusta introduced a bill to restore the tip credit with co-sponsors from both sides of the aisle. Important context about this tip credit. The tip credit allows business owners that employ service staff to pay them half the prevailing minimum wage, but also guarantees the employee makes at least the full minimum wage. If for any reason an employee does not reach the hourly minimum wage with their base pay plus tips, the owner is responsible for the difference. Eliminating this credit will increase menu prices, eliminate jobs, and threaten the restaurant industry in Maine. We also have to remember that by restoring the tip credit, this isn't going against the will of the people. In fact, it's the will of the people that is restoring the tip credit. So this is an important thing to keep in mind when people try to argue with you on this, that this isn't in any way going against the will of the people, and it's the will of the people to restore the tip credit. If you feel passionately about this issue, please become a citizen co-sponsor to restore the tip credit at www.mainegop.com/tipcredit. Governor LePage will be returning to Washington, D.C. this week to try and convince his fellow Republicans that anybody who's receiving welfare or subsidized government benefits should be working. At his town hall on Wednesday night, the governor said, quote, "The country needs every single American who is able to contribute to the success of the country. I'm a believer in the safety net, but if you're able, you need to contribute." We will keep you updated on the governor's efforts. This past Sunday, the Maine People's Alliance hosted a resistance summit. And notably, there was a table reserved for the Maine Democratic Socialists of America, to which we have to ask, only one table? This is not fake news. In an actual video, courtesy of Channel 8 WMTW, there is footage from last Monday's Portland City Council meeting, in which an invited guest does an interpretive dance before the council. Check it out. This interpretive dance is part of a program by Portland Mayor Ethan Strimling to incorporate more arts into city government. However, we at Maine GOP are excited about the possibility of a new way to communicate with Portland liberals. Stop raising taxes, please. Thank you for watching this episode of News You Can Trust. Be sure to share it with your friends on social media. For more videos, subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you'd like to see more information on what we're doing at the party, go to mainegop.com. We know we're not reporters, but you can trust us.